Welcome to Uncensored Stories. I'm your host, Ryan Dowdy, former director of sales and college athlete turned sales coach. And I have the privilege of interviewing some of the coolest entrepreneurs I have had the opportunity to meet. In this interview series, you are going to hear stories that will give you inspiration, that will give you hope, that will encourage you to continue to moving forward in your entrepreneurial journey. So let's dive in and meet our amazing entrepreneurs. All right, guys, I am super excited today about our interview and to talk to my friend, Matt Travis. Matt and I actually connected. We are in a coaching program together and had the distinct opportunity to get to know one another and learn a little bit more about one another. And he actually serves female entrepreneurs just like I do. So it only made sense that he would be part of our world and we would be able to hear his story. So Matt, tell us about you, your story, your life. Tell us about what you do.
Ryan, I first want to thank you for bringing me on. It's been such a pleasure to be part of your community and just see how awesome the things that you're doing are. And it's just, I feel so much gratitude in my heart to be here with you today.
You're awesome.
So basically, I love what Ryan's doing here, where she's trying to help people see that anything is possible, folks. Okay. And my story is a very interesting one where I started out, my undergrad was in physical education and health. So right out of college, I got a teaching job. So I full-time physical education teacher for 15 years. And during that time, I was like, I like this and this is great. But I started to get what I would call the entrepreneurial bug, where you kind of are just like, what else is there, right? And I think that may also be the ADHD brain in me, where it's like, I like to do different things all the time. So I started to go to fitness conferences, and I started to go to a conference called Perform Better. And I fell in love with strength and conditioning and helping people get physically fit, both youth fitness and adult fitness. And that led me down the path of, getting my master's in health and nutrition and all that stuff. And also just starting a fitness facility, opening up a fitness facility. And when I did it, folks, I want you to understand, it started in the basement of a police station in it was like one of those things where they just were letting me use this space. And I built it from there. And I built it up to about 50 members. And then I was like, let's open a fitness facility. So whether you're online or in person, you're just starting somewhere. It's really about serving and helping people. And I know you say that all the time, right? It's like, show up, help some people. Okay. So that was my goal. It was like, how can I help people get physically fit and move better? And that was really like my first piece. When I opened my fitness facility, and it was open for about six years, I just fell in love with helping people move better and get physically fit. Mm-hmm. Okay. And
how much of your fitness facility time were you still doing the teaching job? Because for a little while you were still teaching and running the facility, yes?
So that's where things got tricky, folks. Okay. That's where you run yourself into the ground. And honestly, life happens for you, not to you. So that's important to understand. And it was the type of thing where I was teaching from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then driving and starting coaching from 3:30 to 8 p.m. And I had coaches running programs in the morning and stuff like that. So I was going full out and getting my master's and getting married and having my first child and all that, like you name it, and all the certifications that I was trying to get and flying and doing masterminds in California, all the above, right? And I burnt out, folks. I almost killed myself trying to do that, okay? Because this is the reality, is that we, as entrepreneurs, we have this vision of what we think it's going to look like, and then we go and do it, right? And when I got into the fitness business, I didn't know how to run a business. I was what I would call a technician, okay? I was really good at getting people physically fit and healthy. I didn't know a thing about running a fitness business. So I joined a mastermind. Yep. I put down $10,000. I said, I need to learn how to build a business. So I learned from the best in the business. Alan Cosgrove, one of the greatest people ever, him and his wife are just phenomenal. And I would fly out there and they taught me about business. And within 3 months of joining that, I made all that money back times 3. Okay. So investment is key, folks. That's all I got to say. If you are in this space and you're learning from Ryan, if you're not investing, you got to get past that fear and you got to step into it and you got to move and make an investment in yourself, because it will come back to you. Okay. Especially
Because
if
I
you
can assume with a teaching salary and newly married and kids that like you didn't just have the 10K.
No, not. It was 100% put on a credit card, and I was just and it was. This is the biggest thing is a lot of people put it on stuff, and then they do like, oh please, cross your fingers style. And I went from hoping, wishing, and wanting to that point knowing that no matter what, I was going to take 100% responsibility and do whatever it took to be successful.
Amen.
And that's what, if you're in this game, you have to do that. Like you have to know that you're 100% responsible for what happens in your business. And when I stepped into that role and that leadership role of being 100% responsible, no matter what happened in my business, it was all on me. And that also gave me the power to change anything I wanted, right? Because when you take that, now you have the power, now you have the control, right? But like I said, I was putting myself on the back burner. And the irony in all of this is I was running a health and lifestyle and fitness business and destroying my own at the same time. And I started getting extremely tired all the time, sinus infections. Doctors give you a bunch of antibiotics. So I basically destroyed my gut health completely. I went from I'm a 200, 205, 6'3". I'm a big person. And I dropped down to 165 within 3 months. I released so much weight. People were very worried about me. And I was worried about myself because I was like, this is not how it should be. And I tried to be everything to everybody. And guys, I'm here to tell you that the thing I was chasing this whole time, I was chasing trying to be enough. I was chasing trying to be enough. And I want you, if you take nothing else away from this interview, I want you to hear this. There's nothing you can do in your business. There's no amount of weight you can lose. There's nothing you can do or buy or get or anything that will make you more than enough than you are right now.
Yep.
You are already enough and you cannot become more enough. You are that right now. So you just need to know that and just follow your heart and just follow your path. And you'll end up where you're supposed to be as long as you keep showing up and taking action, okay?
Yes.
So that's really when it hit me. Like I ended up having one of those days that changed everything in my entire life. We, basically, me and my wife, we had our second miscarriage and we were driving to the hospital and my head coach texted me, said I had a breakdown. I kicked everybody out of the fitness facility and I quit. And that's one of those days that hits you like it was the Rocky punt. Like I was out for the count at that moment in time. Like I was there trying to take care of my wife and I brought her home and then I had to go to my fitness facility and leave her. And I'll never live that down. That always will stick with me. But it was the type of thing where when I left there and I went to the fitness facility and I was like, I have to leave her to deal with business. And that was really when it hit me that I had tried chasing being enough my whole life. And I was trying to build this fitness facility to be enough. And I was trying to, teach to be enough and trying to do all these things to be enough. I was this overachiever trying to do all these things and be a perfectionist. And it almost took everything from me. And the reality is that day woke me up. It was like it was the gut punch that woke me up. And within 3 months, I shut down my fitness. I literally, I ended the lease and we were done. And I was in debt, folks. And I had to make a decision. And that was actually when this business that I run now, called The Potential You, that's when it started. That was when the doors opened. And I had a new vision, okay? My vision had 3 priorities. Number 1, put my oxygen mask on first. Amen. It's very counterintuitive, folks. All entrepreneurs, we're trying to have all these things and do all these things for everybody else, but we're putting ourselves on the back burner and we're not on our own to-do list. So I knew that I needed to do that first. And when I did it, everything changed, everything. And it was very hard for me because I have like a servant spirit. You don't become a teacher if you don't have like this spirit that you want to just help people. You're not in it for the money, right? So like it was like I want to help people understand this concept of putting their oxygen mask on first. The second thing was family before business all day. It was that was the biggest thing, so that I could have this new life with my family and a relationship with my kids and my wife and all that stuff. And the third one was teach mompreneurs how to do the exact same thing. That was like my next idea and vision of what this looked like. And because I believe, and I'm sure you will 100% agree with me when I say this, I believe that mompreneurs can change the world. Okay, I think that out of any like niche of people, like it's like they can have this ripple effect. If I can get a mompreneur happy, healthy, and getting more leads and clients and making more money, then the ripple effect in their family and their clients and everybody else, it's just so big. The ripple effect is bigger than anything I could think of.
Yeah, I love that story.
So the bottom line is that it launched me into this next phase, and I knew nothing about running an online business, folks, but I invested again, right? I jumped in, threw some more on the credit card, invested again, and I just started learning everything you could ever need to know about building online and what that looked like.
So when you switched from, because I like to tell the story of like first client stories, right? Because everybody kind of remembers that. So let's talk the online business, right? The first client that you got as an online entrepreneur, how long did it take you to get that client? And how did you get that client?
Yeah, great question. So when I switched over, I took a whole month off. I took the month of December off because my wife was like, you don't have a choice. And then I took 6 months, folks, to make a plan. And I'm going to be honest with you, don't do that. Like, because 6 months, it was all like I needed to be perfect before I launch it and do this thing, right? Like you get in that mode. So I took 6 months trying to like think of what it was going to look like. And I knew at this point I was actually transitioning kind of like a little bit away from the fitness and more into nutrition and mindset. So I was like, it was like this new idea, because I realized those two have way more of an effect on your overall well-being and health and transformation than fitness does. Fitness is awesome. It's great for mental clarity and health, but it's not actually how we help people release weight in the program. So what happened was I took these 6 months, I jumped right in, I started trying to figure out how do I get clients and blah, blah, blah. So the first thing I did is I reached out to old people that were in my gym with me. Okay, so that was the first thing. So reaching out to my current network. All right. And I will say, if you're brand new and you don't have a network, that's okay. Okay. I didn't have a network when I started my fitness facility. I didn't have one. I just started to reach out to people and tell them I wanted to help them change their life, right? I want to get them results. And this is how I did it. Okay. This is ultimately how I did it. So I launched my first program like this. This was 5 minutes before I went on a Facebook Live. I said, you know what? What if I help 20 people get results and I can do it for them absolutely free if they're 90% compliant? It was a very bold move, but this is the deal. So I did it. So I went live, 20 people were like, I'm in, okay? But I knew there needed to be some pain on the back end, right? So if they're not 90% compliant, they got charged $300 a month if they weren't on task with what we were doing. And this was my first 90-day program that I launched, okay? So I launched this program, and during 90 days, 19 out of the 20 people never got charged.
That's
okay.
Awesome.
Awesome,
for them,
right?
not for you as the business owner, but for them.
Well, awesome. And of course, everyone thought I was crazy when I doing this, but stick with me, folks. I'm telling you, this was very smart. Okay. So one of them ghosted last month. He got charged $300. It was life, right? And you have to do that, folks. If you are holding people accountable, if you're a coach, got to do that stuff. Okay.
Yep.
You got to think with your business hat, not your heart all the time. Okay. That's one of my biggest challenges. So basically, I got a bunch of social proof.
Mm-hmm.
I got 19 videos. I got 19 pictures, testimonials, all this stuff. My next program filled instantly. All right. Instantly. I made $30,000 my next group. Okay. Like instantly. But what I did first, folks, is I showed up. I connected with people. I gave them massive value. And then I'm now able to make offers and people are interested because they saw I can get the result that they're looking for, right?
I love that. Because there's so many people that are afraid of working for free because there's so much noise out there about like, don't work for free. Don't ever work for free. Know your value, know your worth. But if we go back to what you said, like you're inherently worthy. It has nothing to do with how much money you make, right? So for you, choosing to serve for free gave you probably the social proof and the confidence that you needed to go out there and charge what you needed to charge the next time you launched the program.
100%. And I'll say this. It was so interesting. All the members that went through that said that they were more afraid of being charged than the like actually getting charged the first, like, you know, like people that like pay the investment right out the bat, more of them were afraid of being charged. That's what kept them on track. So the 90% on track, right? So I'm not saying do your first program for free, folks. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying you need to give people massive value. Mm-hmm. That's what people are looking for. If you can get people results, mm-hmm. that's what this game is all about. Yep. Okay. And it's like, that's all I did was I proved to people that I could get results, and then I got paid because I can do that.
Yeah. I love that. That's awesome. And so now you lead a Facebook community where you launch, you know, your program that you have. And are you running any ads right now, Matt, or have you filled that group organically?
Yes. So I didn't start, this is important. I didn't start running ads until I mastered organic, folks. Mastering organic is the most important step in the beginning of your cycle. Okay. And a lot of the mompreneurs that I work with and womenpreneurs that I work with, a lot of them, I have to get them past their own subconscious mindset because I'm a rapid transformation therapist. So we have to work through some of their blocks around confidence around reaching out and connecting with people, right? So that's part of it so like, for example, I just launched a brand new live launch. I just started a brand new one. It's called the Empowered Entrepreneur Life. And I launched it just in August. And basically we went live and I had filled that entire group, and I only filled it with 100 people. It was just like my beta launch, live launch, okay? But I closed 6 people in this launch, which is very good numbers wise, folks. Just so you know, my first live launch was not like that, okay? It was not like that at all right? So any of you that are trying the challenge method or a live launch of some sort or workshop, understand the first time I ever did a fitness workshop or anything like that, nobody showed. It's like crickets, right? Okay. So it takes a little while, but the more you reach out and connect with people, the more that you are getting into the direct messenger, and the more you're there to serve them, and they know that, and you come in a very authentic way and not a salesy way, you're going to have people that are super excited to take part in what you do. Okay. And this live launch was fantastic. It's kind of like the type of thing where I'm living in my purpose now. And it took me a while to get here, folks. Okay. I was a physical educator, fitness coach, nutrition coach, and now it's very much mindset and transformation through subconscious patterns. So there's so many steps that you may take to get here. Don't try to get too crazy. Don't be perfectionist about it. Just go and do it, right? Just go and do it. Do something, right? So that was what it was for me.
That's so true. So many of the women I work with, and myself included, believe it or not, I'm a little type A, and, I really like to have plans and stuff. But yeah, we all think that like we have to know what the end looks like. And it's not going to look how you start. Like, just instead of knowing I need to know what the end looks like, just know that like, it's not going to look how you think it looks, how you think it's going to look ever.
I never in a million years thought I was going to become a hypnotherapist. Like, if you had asked me back when I was running a fitness facility, I would never, I would have been like, ha ha ha. When I was running my fitness facility, I said in my own mind a story. Okay. We'll talk about stories in a second, but the story I had was, I will never go online. That was the story. Cause I was like,
you thought that people couldn't get results online?
Yes, exactly. It was like, I don't want to do that. Like, it was like, oh, I'm not techie or blah, 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 blah. Like, story. I'm here to tell you folks, the only thing that's holding any of us back from anything is the subconscious and conscious stories that we tell ourselves. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Right?
So let's talk business for just a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
So talk to me about like, what do you feel like your challenges were in getting clients? Because as you know who we're talking to today are, my amazing community of women. They're new entrepreneurs. Some of them have had no clients. Some of them are, have had a couple, but haven't had clients consistently. What do you feel like some of your challenges were early on in filling your launches and doing that sort of stuff? And then, how did you kind of course correct on that stuff, Matt?
Fear was the first one. Fear is the number one reason I was not getting clients right out of the gate. Okay. It was fear. And and I'll be honest with you, part of why I probably did my first group free was fear.
Of course.
Not feeling like it was good enough, right? And all those things, wanting to prove it. But I'll tell you, the fear piece and the fear of rejection, right, was the biggest thing that was stopping me at the beginning. And then the second was just knowing how to connect with people, like knowing what that really looks like, right? From like an authentic and intentional non-salesy way. And what I love about what you do, Ryan, is you teach that beautifully. Like it's really about just connecting with people, right? So like when I when I friend a person or they friend me, I genuinely send them a direct message, and I genuinely want to know about them. Like I want to learn about them and their business and, and their family and what they're doing and like what their dreams and hopes are and all those things. I'm not big on small talk. I like to just know really what people are looking for, what they're getting up every day for. So I think that's what I do when I get into direct messengers with people, or anytime I'm talking to somebody. I just want to know, like, what do they really want in their life, and what are they looking to accomplish, and what's stopping them, and what's holding them back, and all these things. Questions will change your life, folks. So you want to bring more sales and more people into your business? Start asking good questions. Good questions can change your life, right? So like all I did was learn, instead of like saying, this is my program, you should join my stuff, I'm great at what I do, blah, 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 right? It was, what are you struggling with? And then, this is key, listening. Like when they tell you what their struggles are and their challenges and their goals are, do not try to solve their problem. Listen, really hear them and feel them, and know that they are going through genuine struggles. And then you can say, you know what, let's jump on a call and let's see if we can figure out the best solution for you, right? Mm-hmm. The best breakthrough for you. So that's kind of like where it started, right? It was the fear. It was the not knowing how to connect with people. It was, especially in the online space, right? Because it's a little bit different. But I always tell people, I'm like, when you go into Facebook every day, you can think of it like the biggest networking event ever, right? And if you treat it like it is, which is a social network, you want to go on there and be social, right? Go on there, be a social human being. Facebook likes that, right? And you're just interacting and communicating with people and giving love and service and just being of value to others, right? When you bring them into your world, like, what does that look like? A lot of people don't have their profile optimized, right? So when they're coming into their world, it's kind of like you came into somebody's house and it was a hot mess, right? So you don't want to walk into somebody's house and it's a hot mess. So when they come to your profile, is your profile a hot mess? Do I see a picture of you, right? When you come to my profile, you're going to see I smiled in my picture. And you're going to also see, and this is something that a lot of business coaches told me not to do, was I included a picture of my family on my cover photo. The reason I did that, I'll tell you why, is because I work with 95% women. And I wanted them to know I'm a real person. I have a family. I'm because it's part of it, right? It's letting them know and being real and open, and like, we're all part of this. Like, we all have families. We're all trying to grow and develop. And, it's showing who you are and giving value at the same time. That's what your profile is, right?
Yep. You know me, that's totally my jam as well.
100%, right?
No, I love that. And I find it so interesting, Matt, because again, thinking of, the women who are watching this, that, you had a skill set, you ran a business for 6 years. And so here you are having a business, and now you're online and it feels different. And now you're like, I don't know how to connect with people, but you obviously do, because you ran a fitness facility where you had to connect with people every day. But guys, to me, this just really speaks to the idea of when you're trying to take whatever skill set you had in a former life and dump it into the online space, it's totally normal to feel out of sorts, to feel like I don't know what I'm doing, when Matt Travis, you damn well know how to connect with people. You are a fantastic connector.
Well,
But your brain,
it's so funny that it's so funny you say that, because like I've been a teacher for 15 years, guys, and like that's literally what I do. I stand in front of children and I speak to them, and then in my fitness facility, like I'm standing in front of like 100 people and I'm telling them what to do. You know what threw me off? This is what it was, Ryan. Talking to the lens. Yeah. Talking to the lens. Like when you're going on Facebook Live or whatever it was, right? You're not actually talking to another person. So what changed that for me was a business coach taught me was like, you need to create your avatar. Like you need to speak to a person. So I have a woman I talk to. Her name's Andrea Klein, and she's imaginary, but it's just, I was started to speak to the person, right? I was trying to speak to my ideal client and pretending like they're there when I'm talking to them. And it made all the difference. Yeah. It made all the difference because it was the fact that I wasn't live in a room with people. It's that I was here. And like when I'm on Zoom with you, as you can see, it's very easy to talk, but it's when you're alone, I think that's when people like get in their own head, like who's watching me? And I'll tell you guys, when you start going live, first 3 months, no one was watching me. It was perfect because it's practice, right? Yeah. So like I was really good at it. And I even had a friend tell me, they were like, after seeing your first lives to like where you're at now, like, cause you never stopped, the confidence and like how you changed and the way you're delivering all that's just drastically improved. And I'm like, yeah, cause I just kept doing it. Consistency is the key. Show up, take action, get results. That's it.
Right. And guys, it speaks to anything, right? Some of you were like, go live, Matt. We didn't talk about going live, right? She just teaches us to talk to people, but it's the same idea, right? Like I always tell you guys, I want you practicing in networking conversations with non-ideal clients, with not worried about, is this the right person? Am I going to say the right thing? I want you to say the wrong thing to someone who is never going to buy anything from you anyway. So when you have somebody on the phone who might actually be an ideal client, you have that confidence that Matt just described to talk about your program, to your services, to talk about how you can help, to talk about the problems that you solve for them. So that's the perfect case in point. Well, Matt, thank you so much for pouring into the community and my community and these women. Tell everybody where they can find you, because you have an awesome Facebook group. You do great work. So how can people come find Matt?
Yeah, I mean, you obviously can friend me on my own profile. I have a phenomenal Facebook group that I run. It's called the Strong Mompreneur Movement. Mm-hmm. So I'll just make sure you're healthy and happy and, you know, building the business of your dreams, right? And then I do this live launch now almost every month. It's called the Empowered Entrepreneur Life. If you come into the Strong Mompreneur Movement group, you'll be invited to the live launch. We're doing a pop-up group this time. So yeah, that's what we do, where we are, and you know, www.thepotentialyou.com. That's my website. And yeah, I look forward to helping and serving your community. I just love what you do. I love all the people that I meet in your community. And yeah, I feel very blessed that you, before I jumped into Ryan's community, I said, can I come in? Because it's mostly women, right? And, but she was like, totally. You and Shannon were awesome. And I was like, thank you so much for letting me in the community, because I really love being part of it. And I love being able to help in any way I can. So I appreciate it.
And Matt means that when he says that, guys. So go friend request him, follow him, jump into his Facebook group. He shares awesome stuff. He's got adorable wife and babies that he's always talking about as well. So thank you, Matt. And thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks again for watching Uncensored Stories, How They Got Started. We would love to stay connected on social media. You can join us in the Ambitious Women Entrepreneurs Mastering Sales Skills community on Facebook. Follow us at Uncensored Sales on Instagram or at Uncensored Sales on TikTok, and we'll see you in the next interview.